Hello to all the billionaires in my audience. You might have clicked on this video and been like, ooh, I can buy a Canadian political party on the cheap. Answer, yes, but for you, probably not. And this is the strange part of Canadian politics and the corruption we're facing. So you can buy a Canadian political party for less than $1 million. This includes total protection, right? Ideological submission, immunity from all prosecution, and having, your voice heard within the party as absolute. And this will come for less than $1 million. And you might go, Daniel, okay, how's that possible? Now, if you're a billionaire, you can buy the country anyway. Anyone with lots of money who strategically wants to corrupt all of Canada, it's very easy. Canadian politicians, it's like 5 to 10,000 at a provincial level will buy you them. 25 to 50,000 will buy you almost any MP. And with a few exceptions, but if you do it to every MP, you pretty much would control about, let's say, 300 to 338 MPs. So you could do it the classical way of just bribing everyone. But because of the way our laws are set up, it is actually much easier for specific people and specific groups to infiltrate and corrupt the Canadian political system. So here's how it works. Canada likes to pretend that we are both superior and inferior to America. So if the American left proposes any wacky idea, Bernie Sanders, I want a $50 billion minimum wage. Everyone will make $1 billion an hour, and then we will all be billionaires, which is bad, which is why you give me all your money, because money is bad, which is how I need your money, right? And in America, there's pushback to this. But immediately, the Canadian left will adopt the radical right, left-wing positions. The American left to be like, see, we did it, right? We did the $15 minimum wage right away, right? Because Bernie Sanders said it, then Kathleen Wynne did it. This is how we work. So when it became we need to get money out of politics, Canada's like, yeah, we're going to put some crazy laws limiting the amount of money people can put into politics so billionaires can't buy our system. And this has made the Canadian political system so very easily corruptible by money that you have no idea. So the limit to donations is about $1,500. Okay? So you want to, donate to a, Derek Sloan, Leslyn Lewis, Aaron O'Toole, Peter MacKay for the leadership campaign. You can only give them $1,500. Now, this is great because there's some oil billionaire in Alberta, and if he's just buying up the Conservative Party and giving people millions of dollars, well, you know what? We got to stop him from having power. Yay, team. Okay, here's actually what you have done. This is how the Canadian system works. It is not so much the value of someone who can give $1 million to a candidate. The value is now someone who can get like $200,000 to a candidate through the legal means, all right? So getting money through the system is now the primary objective. And there's very few people who can fundraise quickly and effectively to the numbers needed to reach the limits in the political parties, at the time limits they give you, that give these people such great power. And the way these people do it is they often have connections to very fringe ideological groups. And here is why. You need individuals to give you $1,500 all at once. So when you looked at the Conservative Party leadership race that was most recently, they basically said, okay, one of the qualifying benchmarks was you need to raise about $300,000 in around a month. And people didn't look at that. But I looked at that and I said, oh my God, the system's been corrupt. And probably the people pushing for that were the people who had the ability to raise the money, because if you have the ability to fundraise and raise the money, right, you kind of have power over everyone in the system. And if you just think of that, right, assuming that the candidates had to sleep in this month. So if you're sleeping like 8 hours a day, right, it basically, if you need $1,500, like every hour, you need someone to commit the maximum amount to you, right? So during the campaign trail, it's basically a money, you have to insanely just try and consistently extract money from people. And even though people could do it, it's still impossible to do. It's hard for people to give up $1,500, right? There's certain people with millions of dollars who can give it away, and it doesn't matter. But again, it's still $1,500. So you're the billionaire in Alberta saying, can I buy this party? It's like, actually, you're only worth $1,500. Like, I have no money because of all the lawsuits against me. Donate to the Patreon or whatever to save me from all this. But your money you're the same as like a really successful doctor, right? Doctor makes 6 figures, you make 8 figures. Same, $1,500. Now, who becomes valuable? It's people who have things like connections to maybe really great Bay Street connections at firms and, high-end corporations. What they can do is they can take money, they can then give it to their different executives and people and then they give it to the party. This is the SNC Lavalin to the Liberal Party. They kind of got caught in this. But what they were doing is they were basically paying money to different employees. That money to all the employees then went to the Liberal Party. They then got tax write-offs. So it was basically they got tax receipts for bribing the party. What a lovely system we have. But those can only be done in small sort of doses. Where the real big money is in Canada is in ideological extremist groups. So you have the Khalistanis, the Muslim Brotherhood, the radical left. And the real danger here is if the radical right ever gets coordinated, they will have extreme power within the Canadian political system. And it's a very good thing that we keep the radical right sort of at the fringes of society. Because if they were to sort of ever coalesce and figure things out, they would be a real big player. And the Liberal Party and the NDP would immediately start supporting radical racist right-wing positions because of the money. Because of the money. They do it for the left, the Khalistanis, the Muslim Brotherhood. So here's why, Muslim Brotherhood, or you could look at the Khalistani thing, right? The Khalistanis, they get a lot of money funneled into the ISI. And the key in the Canadian political system, which means it's corruptible for less than $1 million, is the reason why it's ideological radicals who have the power is because you need people who are ideologically motivated to go to a place that they know purports this one ideology. It's like Khalistani. We need the Khalistan. So you can have Pakistan, their money, funnel in, $200,000, $200,000, whatever. Distribute it to 50 to 100 people, and then trust all of those people to give it to the candidate that the leader says. Right? The same thing with a Muslim Brotherhood mosque and these Muslim Brotherhood associations. Like, why is Aaron O'Toole and Peter MacKay? Why are they now making overtures and hanging out at organizations that have been very radical, bringing in hate speakers, that are like, why are they going to organizations that have speakers that are too radical for Pakistan, right? And why are they now being promoted within the Conservative Party? Why is this happening? Well, that's where the money is, right? Because at a Muslim Brotherhood organization, right, you can then take, whatever foreign money from Qatar. Some Qatari royal can just reach into his sock pocket, pull out $2 million. There it's funneled in. Then all you need to do is distribute $1,500 to, 100 people who are ideologically motivated enough to say, when the imam says, give it to Aaron O'Toole, or give it to Justin Trudeau, or give it to this person, they then go and give it to them. So being connected into the system, you have the politicians, right, in the Conservative Party race, like O'Toole and MacKay, who are able to raise $300,000, boom. No problem. Within a month, boom. Never an issue, right? Then you had Lewis and Sloan, who had to struggle and do it and keep doing it, and they needed the extension from COVID, and then needed the Conservative Party to panic because we didn't want O'Toole and MacKay, and then everyone to sort of give and rally behind them, and the 3-month extension, blah, 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 became a thing, right? But it's the fact that these ideologically extremist fringe groups have the money coming from somewhere, but then also the ideologues underneath to then take that $1,500 and then redistribute it. The Texas or the Alberta Billionaire does not have that. There's not a middle-class guy in Alberta who's like, I just love reasonable Canadian values, yeah, who's just going to be like, take $1,500 from some oil baron and then give it to a politician, right? They'd never do that. But there's Muslim Brotherhood people, Khalistanis, radical leftists, people who purport different radical ideologies, who believe in the cause, who have the firm believers, who will do these things. So it's even worse than you think. This is not just how the Canadian political system became so easily corruptible by money, by trying to ban money in politics. It is so easily corrupted by money, and it's the money of the worst groups imaginable, the people who want to destroy our country. That is the big problem here. So to finish, what is the solution to this? The solution is actually quite simple. Vote for me. Please don't vote for me. I'm not running for anything. So vote for me in my hypothetical run for Prime Minister. And what I would say is, here's the new election laws. Corporations cannot donate money. Foreign nationals cannot donate money, right? It has to be Canadian money. Canadian individuals have zero limit on how much they can give, but every donation given to a political candidate over $1,000 is made public. So we know where the money's coming from. This clears up most of the problems. And if, undue influence, and if Galen Weston and Loblaws buy each political party, we'll know. And also, money in politics. Money doesn't always translate to wins. Like, in any race, it's kind of like in any federal race, which is the biggest one, it's like any money over $200,000 doesn't really matter. Hillary Clinton outspent Trump by hundreds of millions, still lost. Michael Bloomberg spent $84 billion and he still lost. So money doesn't actually translate to votes in the modern age, so it's actually not that big a problem as people think it is. But the way we are restricting money here has created money as a huge problem in Canada, right? So we have less money going in, but we've increased the capacity for dark money. So the money going to political system by percentage of dark money versus clean money, let's say, the dark money is now way higher. And also the value of money is now way higher. So you have the value of money in the political system being put at a premium, and then the percentage of that money coming from dark illicit sources being exacerbated. Ergo, this is why you're going to see the continued push of extremist values in Canada, because that's where the money is, and that's what politicians want.